Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Antigua and Barbuda announces a systematic removal of foreigners involved in crime. Our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Wednesday, October 11th. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Dawn Paris. Good evening. Antigua and Barbuda has adopted a zero-tolerance stance on CARICOM nationals who go to the Twin Island nation and commit crime. Officials are rounding them up and sending them back home. Prime Minister Gaston Brown made the disclosure on Tuesday, revealing that over the last week, 2 people who were seen as national security threats were deported, and at least 4 more individuals are to be declared persona non grata. He told Parliament that his administration is taking a firm stance against crime and its position is not negotiable.
Antiguans, we can put them in jail, we can't deport them. But those who are non-belongers, we are systematically rounding them up and deporting them because of the security threat that they present to this country. And I know at some point they may want to take the issue about violating regional obligations. When it comes to the security of this country, that is where CARICOM starts and CARICOM ends. They can go to court, but the reality is you cannot abuse the hospitality that we have extended to you in this country.
Brown also warned that naturalized citizens won't be protected from deportation either once they find themselves on the wrong side of the law.
We will come back to this Honorable House to put a provision in the law, in the Citizenship Act, that even if you're a citizen, a naturalized citizen, and you commit certain heinous crimes, and you become a threat to national security, we will revoke it and out you go. We're not making any jokes. The safety and security of the people of Antigua and Barbuda is paramount.
On the heels of the murder of a prison officer in Trinidad and Tobago, a government minister is suggesting that some officers are engaging in practices which compromise their own safety and that of their colleagues. Minister of State in the Ministry of Legal Affairs, Fitzgerald Hines, leveled that charge as he rejected claims by President of the Prison Officers Association, Saron Richards, that the government's failure to provide adequate protection is to be blamed for last weekend's murder of prison officer Richard Sandy. Sandy was fatally shot in a bar on Saturday, allegedly by an ex-prisoner, months after reportedly receiving a death threat. Members of the Prison Officers Association took their concerns to the doorstep of the Attorney General on Tuesday. They staged a protest outside his office, calling for the enactment of a Law Enforcement Officers Safety Act, similar to what exists in other jurisdictions. But Minister Hines says the state does have measures in place to protect prison officers, and it's not to blame for their deaths. Alicia Boucher of TV6 reports.
While Hines is sending his condolences to the family of slain prisons officer Richard Sandy, noting that the job is a dangerous one, he's absolving the cabinet of any responsibility in relation to the matter.
I saw the association, Mr. Richards, president. He could be a little angry and a little bit dramatic at times. And I see he's been putting the blame for that on the footstep or the doorstep of the cabinet. But that of course has to be easily rejected because, I mean, you know, they take action inside of there to protect their officers.
And by taking action, he means measures such as the issuing of personal firearms to many prisons officers, allowing them an avenue to better protect themselves.
They have a system in there where they provide security at each other's homes. This is in addition to what the state through the police would generally produce.
But Hines feels there is another serious element at play, where prisons officers are compromising their own safety.
Sometimes the behavior of some of us aggravate situations. If prison officers are going to encourage taking drugs into the prison, prisoners are going to take cell phones inside of the prison to arrange deals to be struck, if prison officers are going to get involved in relationships with prisoners' families on the outside, if prisoners are going to be borrowing money from prisoners' families, these things have happened in the world, and Trinidad is not distant and separate from it. So prison officers have to be more professional.
While Hines says the country must continue to fight against crime and criminality, he feels ethics is critical to alleviating some of the dangers faced by prisons officers and members of the other protective services like the police, immigration, customs, and the military.
Because we have issues in all these organizations with persons who are not true to their oaths and endangering the rest. And we must deal with that frontally and very frankly.
The devastation caused by recent hurricanes to some of the region's tourism-dependent nations has prompted organizers of the Caribbean Tourism Organization's annual State of the Industry Conference, SOTIC, to pay some extra attention to helping countries mitigate natural disasters. And as the conference opened on Tuesday night, one clear message was that the affected islands will have the CTO's support as they rebuild their vital tourism industries. CMC's Nicole Best reports from St. George's.
The best way to help the Caribbean is to visit the Caribbean. That was the message from the Chief Executive Officer of the Caribbean Tourism Organization, Hugh Riley. He was addressing the State of the Industry Conference 2017 here in Grenada. Riley said it was difficult deciding on whether to hold the annual event after such a tumultuous September month with death and devastation in many member countries following the passage of 3 major storms. However, the CTO boss said this SOTIC will help to strengthen regional bonds.
This must be the one where we learn from the events of the recent past, using those lessons to build a better, stronger future. The one where we accept that any one of us can be knocked down hard at any time, but we must learn how to fight through the pain and rise again.
And in an attempt to help countries rise again, CTO Chairman Dionisio de Aguilar announced that a special recovery and rebuild session has been added. Disaster preparedness experts will make presentations to delegates on issues such as preparedness and mitigation, the impact and real economic cost of disasters, and a blueprint for recovery from crises.
Key recommendations emerging from the session on Thursday morning will form part of a comprehensive document which we believe will have industry-wide international significance. And we expect these recommendations will help inform our future strategies.
Grenada's Tourism Minister, Dr. Clarice Modeste-Kerwin, who delivered the feature address, said this week's conference should focus on celebrating the region's tourism-related successes as well as discussing strategies going forward. The region experienced a 4.1% growth in 2016, and Dr. Modeste-Kerwin said prior to the September storms, it was well on its way to further growth.
Data indications from January to June of 27 showed a 5.2% growth for the first half of 2017. Let us congratulate ourselves. With the recent spate of disasters regionally, we have an urgent need to strengthen our brand so that we can increase our share of the global tourism market, which has remained steady at 2.4%.
Other issues down for discussion at SOTIC 2017 include investing in the blue economy, discovering who the new explorers are, spicing up Caribbean brand, and riding the technological wave. In St. George's, Grenada, Nicole Best, CMC News.
3 weeks after Hurricane Maria dealt a devastating blow to Dominica, the island is well into the recovery stage. But how much of a challenge might that be? Well, as part of our extended coverage, CMC's Kenton Chance visited one of the island's towns and filed this report.
Ordered these images myself, I would have thought that someone had swapped out the ones I took. My camera seems to have failed miserably in capturing what I saw. Then I remembered this interview I did with Rudolph Winston, who has lived in the area all his life.
What I'm seeing on the ground and the pictures you're getting out there, pictures do tell the truth about the damage that happened here.
You said the pictures don't
tell the truth of the damage. People have to see with their eyes, especially people like Dominicans that left and know the place. They come back, they'll be amazed. They can't make out the place no more.
If there is one place that embodies the death and destruction Hurricane Maria has wrought in Dominica, it is here, Point Michel, a small town on the island's southwest coast. At least 13 persons in Point Michel are fared dead, as journalist and resident Matt Peltier tells me.
It's feared that some 4 young men may still be in this building as we speak. Yeah, right there. Family of 9 disappeared right there. A mother, 3 children, 2 girls, 1 boy, and a grandkid.
Among those who did survive was Gary Latouche, who I met cleaning out debris from his ground floor apartment.
I went to service on Sunday, preparing the amount of noise I heard. I said that the angel of death is passing, so let it take its course. When I do check, water was on both sides of both doors. My escape route was compromised already. Then I had to fly under the hurricane. I fell 3 times within 10 feet because a lot of debris. Underneath the next cellar, then more water, there have been diverted course, and I had to shelter it in a little bunker.
Latouche had taken the approaching storm seriously and had ensured that he and his family had enough to eat.
Right now there's a big tree, compromised half of the kitchen, where I had all my stuff stored, like my food for probably 2 months. The hurricane did pass, it took everything away.
Not only did Hurricane Maria change the physical landscape of Point Michel, but it also significantly impacted its economy, including the vital tourism sector.
I don't know how fast we're going to recover from that, because my whole infrastructure got damaged. I had a pier that got damaged. My whole bar on the sea got damaged. And my whole downstairs, in fact, was filled with debris. And during the hurricane, we were running back and forth. We were not even aware of what was happening. We were hearing noise, all kind of noises, like dogs barking and galvanized flying all over the place. And water was coming in, the waves were 4 floors high.
Still, Decima Sharpless Valentine is lucky in that some of her rooms are still habitable. But even getting her SeaWorld guest house cleaned is quite a challenge.
I've had at least 10 guys trying to help me clean, but they're not cooperating too well. They each want $150 for the day, and they want to work until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know when I'll be through cleaning.
At the nearby Anchorage Hotel, though they have come to clean, the persons there describe themselves as former employees. A look around the tourism plant explains why. Almost a month after Hurricane Maria, Dominica has moved into the recovery phase. But if you want to get an idea of how long that road to recovery might be, there might be no better illustration than Point Michel. Kenton Chance, CMC News, Point Michel, Dominica.
And coming up in Caribbean Newsline, Guyana earning big bucks from the oil and gas industry. That story and more after the break. Stay with us.
Welcome to the gem of the Caribbean, Antigua and Barbuda.
A warm welcome awaits you at our state-of-the-art VC Bird International Airport.
I must say that Antigua is in wonderful shape. 5 minutes off the boat and we're already in paradise.
Antigua was not that damaged by the storm as much as Barbuda was. The hotels are still open, the beaches are still clean, and the people are still friendly.
With Antigua, it's the people that really await you.
Hurricane Irma may have hit a little bit, but you can't even tell that it was ever here. The beach is wonderful. I'm having a great time.
Everything is just as we remember. No storm damage.
We're here and we're open. And we're better than ever.
I do a lot of destination weddings, and I see weddings that could happen here, and they would be in love with it.
I can't say enough about how in love with Antigua I am.
It is one nation, 2 islands, and I'm loving it.
Want a real Barbadian experience with peace and tranquility? A home away from home feeling? Come and stay at Best E Villas. We offer 2 amazing locations to choose from, Prospect St. James or Christchurch. Plan a staycation for your anniversary, birthdays, summer or winter breaks, or any special event. Best E-Villas is located in close proximity to our lovely beaches. Call us now at 246-425-9751 or visit us at bestevillas.com and make your booking for the best in villas.
Join us on this edition of Caribbean Passport as we discuss relief efforts for Hurricane Irma, preview the 2017 Barbados Food and Rum Festival, stop off in Antigua, and so much more. All next on this station.
Welcome back. The Guyana government says it has collected 900 million Guyana dollars, that's about $4.4 million US dollars, in taxes from activities connected to oil and gas for the first half of this year. Companies in the industry pay withholding tax, and the government is expected to rake in additional revenue when oil production commences in 2020. Under a production sharing agreement it has with oil giant ExxonMobil and its partners. Guyana will receive a royalty of 2% on gross earnings and benefit from 50% of the profits from the sale of petroleum once the production begins. Staying in Georgetown, Finance Minister Winston Jordan has brushed aside opposition leader Barrett Jagdeo's threat to write to the Inter-American Development Bank over alleged procurement violations by the government. We get the details of that story from Royden James of HGP Nightly News.
Opposition leader Barrett Jagdeo told the media last Thursday that he plans to write the Inter-American Development Bank over alleged breaches of the procurement laws by the coalition administration. Mr. Jagdeo is principally unsettled by what he says is the slow implementation of the public sector investment program. The government has already made its position clear on the issue of procurement, and the Finance Minister Winston Jordan did not give much credence to Mr. Jagdeo's threat when asked to respond by Nightly News on Monday.
The opposition is free to write whoever he wishes, and he's free to tell them whatever he wants. You can't stop the opposition leader from doing that. He's pretty good at doing that anyhow. You know, if the then opposition had done exactly what he's doing, who knows, maybe they might have been out of power earlier than they exited in 2015.
Mr. Jordan joked about the vastness of wrongdoings of the previous government that warrant more than a complaint. He also questioned whether the IDB is going to take the complaints of Mr. Jagdeo seriously.
I can tell you Ms. Kaltzman, the senior vice president of the IDB, when she was here, and we have the tape. She said, for example, when I raised the question of international contractors, we haven't been able to attract these international contractors. Her response was she understood the point I was making and so on. But we should be aware that Guyana is still looked upon as a very corrupt country. That's her exact words. Guyana is still looked upon as a very corrupt country, and these contractors, given their reputation and so on, are very afraid to be tainted, right? So they don't come.
Jagdeo said that the PPP was compiling a dossier on Guyana's procurement practices to dispatch to the IDB, one of Guyana's largest donors. Mr. Jordan explained that the delivery of the public sector investment program this year stood at 20%, partly because of moves to weed out corruption and the absence of critical skills.
Ahead in Newsline Sport, Trinidad and Tobago knocked the U.S. out of the World Cup final.
In a place where legends start, the beach is just the beginning. So live a little for the exhilaration and the color of every moment, where time is and life is a spirited event. Immerse yourself in the culture, the music, the people, the island. Love Antigua and Barbuda. Embrace an experience that leaves you breathless, from cricket to sailing week to carnival and more. Antigua and Barbuda, the beach is just the beginning.
Nod your heads nice and big if you understand.
All right, feel your eyelids. Notice how tight those eyelids are getting now. Sticking, gluing, locking shut. So I'm putting the super glue over those eyelids now. Sealing them, gluing them, locking them shut. The glue's starting to dry, getting tighter and tighter and tighter. Really feel it, really experience it. It's happening. It will happen, and it's gonna happen, and it always does. It's pretty crazy stuff. To the point where it's completely, totally glued, locked shut, completely, totally glued, locked shut. And no matter how hard you think you can open your eyes, they're just gonna stay completely glued.
We begin our midweek sports with football. Trinidad and Tobago's senior men's squad has made history by booting the United States out of contention for the World Cup. In what was dubbed the most embarrassing night for the U.S., the Twin Island Republic secured a 2-1 victory at the Atto Bolden Stadium in Couva on Tuesday night. USA needed just 1 point to seal third place with a far superior goal difference to Panama and Honduras. Ironically, it was the U.S. that ended TNT's World Cup campaign 28 years ago when the Caribbean team needed just 1 point to qualify for the World Cup in Italy. The Americans fell behind in the 17th minute on an own goal by Omar Gonzalez. Alvin Jones doubled the home side's advantage 20 minutes later with a 30-yard blast that cleanly beat U.S. keeper Tim Howard. Less than a minute later, the referee waved off a Trinidad penalty shout against Gonzalez when it looked like one might have been given. But Trinidad found a second in the 36th minute when Alvin Jones smashed a swerving shot from the right flank past Howard to give the hosts a 2-0 advantage at the break. Christian Pulisic gave the U.S. the perfect start to the second half, firing home from just outside the penalty area just after kickoff to make it 2-1. And the score remained that way until the final whistle, ending USA's journey to Russia. Well, following the match, deposed CONCACAF President and FIFA Vice President Jack Warner said the TNT victory was the happiest day of his life. Speaking on a popular talk show on I-95.5 FM, the former football executive said the United States has been brought to its knees.
I mean, this is the happiest day of my life. That the fact that this country has been able to bring the U.S. to its knees couldn't have given me greater joy. They have reduced football to CONCACAF to a nightmare. They have disorganized the Caribbean Football Union as never before. They have used their government to help to dismember the FIFA in ways unimaginable. And last night on the field of play, Trinidad and Tobago reduced them to their knees. They won't see Russia in 2018. They continue to undermine Qatar for 2022, but they won't succeed. As far as I'm concerned, this is the beginning of the end for U.S. football.
And Warner accused the U.S. of attempting to undermine other teams that have qualified for the World Cup, and he believes they got what they deserved.
Nobody in CONCACAF likes the U.S. That is why Honduras could have beaten Mexico so easily for Honduras to qualify. That is why Panama could have done what they did again to qualify. Right? Because the fact is that those countries played to help one another, while we played to embarrass them in ways unimaginable.
Warner is wanted in the U.S. to face corruption allegations stemming from his time as vice president of FIFA, and he says the result of the TNT versus U.S. game was also a victory for him.
I see it in two ways. First of all, I think it has shown the nation and more so the football fraternity and Dennis Lawrence that he has to rely more and more on his local players and build from within. And the time has come when we can no longer depend on our overseas players who do seem to have the commitment or the wherewithal to carry us forward. And that has been proven beyond a doubt. Secondly, also too, it has proven that the time has come, not yesterday, not the day before, but now, to start building for 2022. And begin with the team that he has, who has made this country and this region proud. And third, for me personally, it has reduced the U.S. to a laughing stock because, and I tell you this from a personal standpoint, last September 27th, when the judge ruled against Jack Warner as a first measure, they had parties in the U.S. and they were quite happy and so on, Mr. Gorati and his team. And I said to them somewhere else that is only the first step. There are other steps to follow, which I will do in the fullness of time. Now that this has happened, I wanted to go back and party as a party last September when a local judge ruled against me. I wanted to party. This is my personal feeling.
And staying with the sport, the Guyana Football Federation has implemented new rules following the death of a 9-year-old boy last Friday. Isan Griffith of Capital News explains in this report.
Following the tragic death of 6-year-old Gladson Skit, the St. Paul's Primary School student who lost his life last Friday after a goalpost fell on him at the Pleasance Community Centre ground, the Guyana Football Federation has established newly safety policies relative to the establishment of movable goalposts. Among the guidelines outlined for the safe use of the equipment are all goalposts must be securely fastened to the ground by any means possible during and after use. A warning sign must be posted at all football venues. Do not swing or climb onto any goalposts. Players must be warned of the dangers associated with the misuse of goalposts. Children must not be permitted to play unsupervised under any goalposts. All goalposts must be inspected regularly to ensure that they are structurally sound. Football games must not be played without unsecured goalposts. The incident happened during the school's practice for the annual inter-school sports after another student climbed the post, which caused the post to fall and hit Skit.
Turning attention to cricket now, 7 West Indies players were among those left in the lurch following Tuesday's shock announcement of the postponement of South Africa's inaugural 2020 Global League. Batting superstar Chris Gayle, along with Dwayne Bravo, Chris Pollard, Dwayne Smith, Dennis Ramdin, Nicholas Puran and Riyad Emirates were all down to participate in the tournament scheduled to bowl off early next month. Barbados-born England all-rounder Chris Jordan was also expected to suit up. And that's sports. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Barbados, renowned for its pristine beachfront and fantastic weather, continues to leave quite an impression on newcomers to the island and returning visitors. The Caribbean island, quite popular as a vacation hotspot, is not only beautiful due to its natural aesthetics. The island of Barbados continues to grow in popularity because of unique connections developed with our people, our culture. We can't wait to welcome you.
Grow your business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and CaribVision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your carnival or event today.
Again, the major developments of this day: Antigua and Barbuda announces a systematic removal of foreigners involved in crime. And in sport, Trinidad and Tobago kicked the U.S. out of contention for the World Cup after a 2-1 victory over the North American nation. And that's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sports round the clock, log on to CanonNews.com. We'll be back here again tomorrow. But from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching and have yourselves a good night.